Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
offense all year long so far. When you look at this most recent game against MSOE, you have players like Aaron Brown, Matthew Guthrie step up, except D. Williams is struggling, making only 2 buckets in the game, and that's just not the production you want to see out of D. Williams. Look for him to bounce back in a big way tonight. Now, looking over at the Illinois Tech sideline, Dave, who can we look for from the Scarlet Hawks on the court tonight?
Absolutely, Jonathan. My pick's going to be John Davis III. Not only is he their top minutes getter, more importantly, he's their top bucket getter. He's averaging just under 15 a game. Expect him to be one of those Bulldogs out there fighting in the paint all day long as one of those productive guards. Not too quality from three-point land, but you don't need that when you're averaging 15 a game.
Absolutely. The other thing to watch on this Illinois Tech roster, not even a specific player, just that paint in general, led by Isaiah Duncan, one of their big forwards. This is a Cougars team that has been getting reliably out-rebounded the last couple of games. Illinois Tech, and they've got to find those weaknesses and capitalize them to have a shot of stealing a win from River Forest today. Before we get going, guys, take a quick look at our team again. Barry?
As a shooter, whether it's beyond the arc or at the charity stripe, only 65% from the charity stripe so far this year, so really earning your buckets when you can get that shot.
That shooting is a huge thing to watch out for the Cougars. We're not talking about where they struggle, but like you mentioned, the Cougars just have not been shooting well as of late. Shooting under 40% from the field this last time out against MSOE. They struggled from the 3-point line all game a week ago against Rockford, and it was worse last time out against MSOE, going 0-12 in the first half. That kind of takes us to what's starting to sound like a bit of a broken record with this Cougars team, Dave, and that's starting fast out of the game.
Absolutely, that's kind of one of the things you got to see. If they can jump out there, kind of put themselves in a good spot, that makes it so much easier. When your offense is kind of struggling throughout the year, it's really hard to come back from behind. So we'll see if they're able to jump out early.
Absolutely. And before we head out onto the court, quick look at the history between these two squads. Illinois Tech, a relative newcomer to the NAC, and it's been a back-and-forth series for the Cougars and the Scarlet Hawks. 3-6 in favor of the Scarlet Hawks at one point, but the Cougars on a 5-game winning streak in this series, looking to make it 6 in a row over Tech here in River Forest tonight. We'll have all of that action here on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Jonathan Shearer here with Eric Perry on the sideline, Dave Dimeling on color, and we'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to River Forest here on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me on air today is Dave Dimeling. As we get ready to go here in River Forest, we'll run through your starters for both of these squads very quickly. For the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, it's number 2, Bryce Shoto. Number 15, Obrad Kuzmanovic. Number 22, Nicholas Ortiz. Number 25, Jason Pilipil. Number 30, Garrison Carter. For the Cougars, you see freshman Matthew Guthrie headed out for the tip. Alongside him, it's number 11, D. Williams. Number 22, A.J. Willard. Number 24, Andreas Laulautis. And number 30, Aaron Brown. As we get ready to go for the tip, it's Matthew Guthrie standing at 6'8" for the Cougars, going up against this 6'5" Garrison Carter from Tech. And Guthrie tips it over to the Cougars. Laulautis grabs it, and Concordia starts with possession. D. Williams running point for the Cougs, moving everyone over to the left side. Williams slashing right, double teamed, got to get it out. Able to get it over to Willard. Laulautis in the corner, kicking back to Willard, over to Brown. Now Williams in the corner, driving mid-range, kicks to Laulautis. Now Laulautis driving, and it's stripped away. Loose ball, Guthrie gets it. Williams for 3, and he hits! And Dave, that is a huge start for the Cougars.
No doubt about it, Jonathan. You see a little bit of little frazzled at the start with that 2-3 zone that Tech comes out with, trying to force some three-pointers. As there's some frisky defense right there from CUC.
Yeah, Andreas Laulautis playing some tough D, putting the clamps on Shoto. Bryce Shoto slashing in, kicking out. Now Carter from the corner, and he hits from 3. Both of these teams striking from downtown to start. Brown kicking to Willard, down low to Guthrie. Double teamed out to Willard, over to Williams, no one to his right. Now he'll kick to Willard for 3. No good, and Brown's going to be tagged with a shove on the rebound. First foul of the day goes on the big man. How about that, Dave? A strong start from 3. For the Cougars last time out against MSOE, they didn't score from 3 in the first half. 0 for 12 from deep. And you go over to Illinois Tech, not much better, 2 for 7 from deep in the first half of their last game against St. Norbert. So far, 1 for 2 for the Cougars, 1 for 1 for Tech.
Yeah, obviously pretty small sample size overall, but we'll see if the trends are able to continue.
Shoto kicking out to the right. Now Ortiz, top of the key, thinking about driving, slashing in, kicking down low to Pilipil. Ortiz again at the top of the key, now going to Carter. Low time on the shot clock. Carter puts up a mid-range, no good, rebounded by Williams. Concordia going quick. Williams backing up, looking for someone to get open, kicking to Laulautis in the corner. They'll go to Guthrie. Tries to sling one to Willard, and it's broken up. Now Carter driving in, can't get around Brown. It's below the rim. Now Concordia trying to respond quickly. Willard can't lay it in. It rims out. Williams with the second chance 3. No good. Guthrie on the rebound. Third chance. And Concordia puts in the bucket.
Yeah, dealing with a little bit of contact there, but Guthrie's still able to finish. That's a big bucket right there.
And the Cougars showing that press again. They have been aggressive on defense as of late. Coach Searle's team's usually finding their identity in a quick, fast-paced offense. They've been emphasizing that defense more as this year's gone on. Ortiz hopping his way to the rim for 2.
Yeah, really beautiful hop step right there for Ortiz, just slithering through that defense, getting a good bucket to knot things back up at 5.
Now it's D. Williams going to Laulautis. Willard to Williams. Trapped by Carter. Got to get rid of it. Gets it to Guthrie. Gives him a bit of a reset. Kick into Willard. Willard has to wrangle it. Spinning. Mid-range jumper. No good. Loose ball. And they're going to tag a foul on Brown. Already Aaron Brown's second of the day, and it's going to prompt our first substitution of the day. Kenyon Pryor coming into the game.
Yeah, definitely not a player you want in foul trouble this early on if you're Coach Rashawn right now. Aaron Brown's one of those big-time players that you can rely on from the mid-range as well as in the paint overall. Just a little bit of
bully ball that he brings to the table.
Yeah, and Aaron, he has struggled this year compared to the standard he put up last year, but he had a massive game against MSOE last time out. 9 for 11 from the field for 20 points as Shoto, a nice finger roll to put that in and give Tech their first lead of the day. 7-5 Illinois Tech. D. Williams moving in mid-range. Loudest for 3. And that one rims out. Cougars not getting a good roll on the rim so far. Pillapil able to chop it into the rim. 4-point lead for Tech. Loudest. He'll put up another 3. That one goes. Drilled. And it puts the Cougars back within 1.
That's something you really like to see right there for the CUC. Kind of just not afraid of missing a shot early on. Stand confident, keep pushing it, keep getting those shots up.
They'll go down low, kick out to Carter. Swinging all the way over to Shoto, slashing middle, triple teamed. Loose ball flying around in there. Finally, a long 3 from Ortiz, and he drills it. Another response from the Scarlet Hawks. Illinois Tech, perfect from 3 on their first 2 attempts. They're 5 for 6 from the field to start. Willard down low to Guthrie, double team. Guthrie able to get it to Pryor, one-on-one in the paint, goes up with it, and he's tagged with a travel. That's going to bring us to the first media timeout of the day, as we're going to shoot it down to the sideline for our reporter for the night, Eric Perry. Eric, take it away.
Big story here in the first 5 minutes, but both teams have been doing a really good job at having a strong interior defense. Both sides have been making it so that the other team has had to work the perimeter to get threes, and for both teams, the threes have been falling pretty consistently. In the last few minutes, they've traded threes back and forth, and these are 2 teams that on the season couldn't very consistently hit their threes, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up this 3-point hitting pace throughout the length of the game, or if eventually the interior defense will just continue to wear down each side. That's the goal for both teams, that you can keep the interior D tough and force teams to try to shoot threes. Eventually, they're going to start missing more than they're making. David and Jonathan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. And yeah, on point. It's that interior defense is kind of making the name difference so far today. And we talked a bit about it. The shooting efficiency in general for the Cougars has been a bit rough. They've taken 5 threes tonight. Only 3 shots, not even from the paint, within the arc. And honestly, that's more of a credit to the Scarlet Hawks defense right now. They have been playing clamps within the arc, and they're not letting the Cougars get any easy shots.
Yeah, that's one of the compliments of that Tech defense that their coaches emphasizing coming out today is we're going to allow them to shoot beyond the arc. We know they've been struggling as of late, potentially all season, with kind of those shooting woes that we mentioned in the pregame show as well. Force them to kind of stay uncomfortable and keep shooting. Force them to kind of identify those weaknesses, and they got to take a look in the mirror and think about maybe getting a few more paint touches.
Ortiz working with a 4-point lead. Kicking out to Carter. Thought about a 3, now driving, kicking out, and he draws the foul. We got a bit of line change for the Cougars. Matthew Guthrie, the only player staying out on the court. Sebastian Hill, Riker Johnson, Carter Privet, and Honore Yangwa coming in for the Cougs. There's a corner 3 for Carter. He's perfect from range tonight. It's 15-8 Tech. Yangwa working his way into the paint. Privet, corner 3. No good, off the back of the rim, rebounded by Ortiz. A 6-0 run for Tech. They're perfect for their last 5 field goals already. Ortiz slashing, Eurostep, throws it down to Kuzmanovic. Now Carter, another 3, and that one doesn't go. Yangwa pushing the pace. Privet thought about 3, slashing, stopping, down low to Guthrie. Can't get the reverse, but Yangwa gets up there for the putback.
Yeah, strong finish with the right there from the left-handed specialist.
Shoto kicking to Kuzmanovic. Back to Ortiz. Calls the play. Top of the key. Over to Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic driving into triple coverage, and he just throws it out of bounds. It'll stay with Tech. Went off of a Cougar as we get our first couple of substitutions for Illinois Tech. Khalil Maxey into the game. Omar Salmon and James Pillapil.
Yeah, I believe there's 2 Pillapils on this roster, both combining for about under 10 minutes between the 2 of them, but one started and has already played 7 minutes of this match, so already matching over that season high.
Corner 3 rims out from Salmon. Yangwa pushing the pace. Tight D from Pillapil. That's James Pillapil. Privet gets the play call in from Coach Searles. 15 on the shot clock. Johnson turning, double cover, kicking to Yangwa, slinging to Hill. Long 3, no good. Johnson with the rebound, going up for it, and he laces it through.
Yeah, another strong finish for the Cougars right there, and this time it's Riker Johnson.
Cougars responding, back within 3. Ortiz puts up a 3, no good, rebounded by Privet. Carter Privet cutting middle. All the way through, puts up the shot, no good. Couldn't get it through contact. Scarlet Hawks going quickly. Maxey couldn't get the shot up. Now Carter, a hop step, and he draws the foul. 4th foul already through the first 8 minutes on the Cougars. This one tagged on Guthrie. They'll send Carter to the line.
Yeah, Carter's so physical on that drive, and that's one of the tough things that the Cougars are going to be having to deal with today is when he's able to kind of let things fly from beyond the arc, it forces him to play a couple steps up, and then with that, it's so much easier to drive and get downhill if you're Carter.
Carter off the front of the rim for his first attempt.
And with that, Shoto will also be checking back in for Ortiz. So a little change in the backcourt for Tech.
Bryce Shoto, one of the more longer tenured players on this Tech team. He's played a big role on this Hawks squad for the last couple of years. Privet swinging to Yangwa. Down low to Hill. Yangwa working on Shoto. Floats it up for Johnson. Hill in the corner for 3. Drills it! Sebastian Hill finally breaks the 3-point drought. And the Cougs are within 1. Oh! Rejected! Guthrie gets up there and slams it down. I think he got that with the forearm.
And that'll take us to our media timeout. But wow, what a flip of momentum right there. It really was only 2 points, but it truly felt like more than that, and that's going to hopefully get the Cougars a little bit going after this media timeout.
And we'll take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. 11:52 to go in the first half. Cougars come off of a big block from Matthew Guthrie and trailing by 1. That block actually going to Riker Johnson. Both him and Guthrie up on that one. Cougars break the press. Yanghua working over to Privet. Carter Privet has taken up a bigger role in this Cougars offense as he comes back from an off-season surgery, and he has impressed in his time on the court. Guthrie slinging to Privet. He'll drive, baseline, goes up for it. No good, loose ball. Shoto gets the rebound. Sending a long one down to Pillapil, and he gets it to go. And they'll call a quick stoppage of play for Obrad Kuzmanovic, who went down going for the rebound at the end of that last Cougars possession. He'll tie up his cleat and head off. Cougars will take back possession, trailing by 3. They'll take advantage of it to sub Aaron Brown back into the game for Matthew Guthrie. Carter Privet, running point, got a lot of time. Illinois Tech, that 5-point zone defense. Goes to Hill. Hill over to Privet. Cougars working around the perimeter, looking for a gap. They get it to Brown. Brown is fouled as he tries to make his way to the rim. That's the first foul tagged on the Scarlet Hawks today, 9 minutes into the game. And it will send Aaron Brown to the free throw line. And actually, no, it'll be on the floor, so Brown draws the first foul. Carter Privet will inbound for the Cougars, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Brown going to Hill. Hill working to the corner, long two, no good. Rebounded by Pillapil. That's Jason Pillapil. Ortiz calls the play, under 20 on the shot clock. Ortiz going up for the layup, over the rim, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson going quickly with it. And he's going to draw the foul. Ortiz couldn't cut back quick enough. That's going to be a second in the last 2 possessions on the Scarlet Hawks. Cougars going to get another inbound.
Yeah, we'll see kind of what Tech's able to do on the defensive side when they're forced to kind of stop transition, because naturally someone's going to have to stop the ball when the Cougars want to get going. So we'll kind of see, because one of those issues is it's tough for everyone to get the expectation of getting to their spot. There's another foul right there, tagged to Carter.
Aaron Brown trying to pick that one up there. Tag Carter for pulling as he went around to try and break up that pass. Riker Johnson will inbound to Privet. Privet going for Aaron Brown. It's a repeat, but this time it's clean for Carter. And he can't get the dunk! The Cougars pull off of the block, and Carter can't even get above the rim. And then they're going to call a foul on the rebound on Jason Pillapil. An awful turn of events for the Scarlet Hawks off the steal.
Yeah, what a hot mess right there for Tech. Just couldn't seem to get anything going right there. Not only do you fail on the fast break, the free bucket right there, you also miss on that second chance opportunity and add a foul to one of your starters. Just nothing going right on that possession right there for Tech.
Johnson double teams, nowhere to go. Gets it to Robinson, wide open, straightaway 3, no good. And they'll tag Johnson for going over the back on the rebound. And going back to that missed dunk from Carter, it looks like, the Cougars pulled off, Aaron Brown pulled off, Carter Privet pulled off, no defense, and it looks like he was going up for the layup, realized there's no one around and thought, okay, I'll go for the dunk, I'll get the highlight. But you switch to that dunk when you're only jumping for a layup and it's too little too late. You can't get up high enough, and it's going to cost you a bucket. Yeah,
you can think about the physics side of how he's jumping overall, but you could also think you got to remember the style points. You're not getting anything extra on the scoreboard. Find a way to put the ball in the hoop.
Shoto going quickly. Turning around to the rim, and he's going to draw the foul. This one's on Yonghwa. Both these teams now on a sprint to the bonus in the last couple of minutes.
And that foul put Tech only one away from single bonus.
It's a long inbound. Ortiz from the corner, drills it! Tech's back up by 6. Yonghwa, he'll take a 3 of his own. No good, it rims out! Heck of a rebound from Aaron Brown. Yonghwa with the putback, and he gets it to go! Breaks a 3-minute scoring drought for the Cougars. Ortiz from the corner. He drills that one. He's hot. 11 already for Nicholas Ortiz. Robinson going to Brown. He'll take the straightaway 3, and he drills it. It's a downtown party in Geisman tonight.
Wow. I mean, everyone's just letting it fly right now. The law of averages tells you this should not be happening, but as the viewer, it is so exciting to just see what's happening.
And I mean, over on Illinois Tech side, great clip right now. 5 for 8 from 3. Not as great for the Cougars, 4 for 11, but it's better than what they've been getting. As that's a 7 foul. It's tagged on Sebastian Hill. It'll send Shoto to the line for 1-and-1. Tech first team into the bonus. And the first shot, no good. Yonghwa with the rebound. Nothing doing on that trip to the line. Yonghwa going quickly, kicking to Pryor. Pryor now double teamed. Slinging to Williams. Driving, baseline, kicking to Yonghwa. Corner 3. No good off the front of the rim. Shoto, two-handed bounce pass. Broken up by Robinson. Kuzmanovic can't get the shot to go. Brown with the rebound. Pryor driving to Yonghwa. No shot. They'll tag a foul on the floor against the Scarlet Hawks. That foul saved a bucket for the Cougars, as that brings us to our next media timeout and our next visit down to the sideline with Eric Perry down by the Cougar student section.
For hitting threes, and it was a question of what would happen when threes stopped falling. Well, for the Cougars, they had a bit of a period where they weren't able to hit threes, but they were able to make up for it via their offensive rebounds. They were able to get several offensive rebounds and then turn those rebounds into second chance points, because they were still creating points on offense, even when necessarily the threes weren't falling. Even when they were dealing with some trouble and were falling behind, they were able to stay in this game because they were winning the rebounding battle with Tech, and that's how they were able to stay in this game. Now here down the stretch, they're starting to hit a few more of those threes. The question remains if the Cougars can start hitting more threes and continue to break through the Tech interior defense and score that way. So that's the goal for the last 7:50 here in the first half. See if the Cougars can tie it up heading into half. David Johnson, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. And yeah, you hear Eric talking about, again, that law of averages. These two teams have been shooting very well. The Cougars, honestly, shooting pretty normal for how they've been doing. A little better, honestly. That's how much they've been struggling as of late. Illinois Tech, fantastic stats so far, especially from 3. That free throw percentage, not where they want it to be right now, but that three-point shooting more than making up for it. They lead by 4. It's Cougar ball with 7:49 to go. The Cougars calling the play. D. Williams inbounding to Brown. He'll just post straight up and get it to go.
Tough mismatch right there for Tech. Shoto versus Aaron Brown. Not one they want to see a lot this today.
Got Bryce Shoto working on Jacob Robinson. slinging. And a travel tagged on Omar Salmon. Salmon not happy with it, but it looks like he double clutched a bit on the dribble and his right foot got moving a bit too early.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration right there, trying to get going a little too early.
So now Robinson will bring it down for the Cougs. Brown on the perimeter, trying to get to Yangwa, nearly broken up. Williams thought about three, baseline, double team, kicking to Brown. He thought about three, now he'll bring it back central for Pryor. 10 to go on the shot clock. Long ball over to Williams, corner three, short, and it's off the shot clock. That'll go to the Scarlet Hawks. Quick inbound to Ortiz, 7 to go in the first half. Broken up by Robinson! Yangwa finally gets the putback to go. A pickpocket from Jacob Robinson.
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't think about calling that one a foul. Usually those ones are very sketchy when you just see a hand go flying in there, but looked clean for the Stripes, and that's good enough for a bucket for the Cougs.
Yeah, that was fully coming around the back, poking in the pocket. Kuzmanovic posting up on Brown, and he gets it to go. Working all the way around the big man in the paint. Robinson down low to Brown, gets it to go, and one for Aaron Brown. And it's tied back up at 26. First time we've been tied since 5-5, and the Cougars have a chance to take the lead on their first free throw attempt of the night.
Yeah, Aaron Brown off to a really hot start so far tonight. We'll see if he can keep it going with the free throw right here.
And Brown gets it to go. Cougars lead 27-26. Aaron Brown up to 8 points on the night. That's huge for the big man who continues his heat from last week. And Ortiz is tripped up by A.J. Willard. So they get the foul. It'll send Ortiz to the line, but you can tell his Illinois Tech team, they're not happy with going down. Ortiz furious with Bryce Shoto for not coming back down to help him break the press. And Coach Terrence Gray backing up Ortiz and bringing Shoto over for a quick chat.
Yeah, keep in mind this Tech team is kind of has a lot of aggressive natures. Overall, you can see it's kind of a top-down approach. The coaches are very intense. They obviously care about the winning, and you can kind of see that spreads through the players. Keep in mind that last year when these two teams faced off, they had a little bit of an altercation, so don't be surprised if there's some high energy and high effort between these two teams.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of new faces on this Illinois Tech team getting substantial playing time from last year, but Bryce Shoto, he's one of those players who was around last year. He knows the history between these two teams. This is the Chicago rivalry within the NAC. These are those two Chicago schools in the conference. So a little bit of a rivalry night going on in Geisman as well. Ortiz looking to give the Hawks a lead back, and he gets it to go. 28-27 Tech. Robinson running point. Cutting right, slashing, slinging across. Williams able to bring it in. And Williams trying to get to Guthrie, puts a bit too much heat on it. Guthrie's behind it, and that'll be a turnover. James Pillapill down to inbound. Looking to Ortiz. Ortiz sees a gap, just sprints past half court. Shoto to Ortiz. Ortiz can't get the pass, tipped by Willard. It'll go out of bounds and stay with the Scarlet Hawks.
Yeah, tough spot to inbound as well for Tech, so we'll see with the kind of draw up on this sideline out of bounds play.
16 to go on the shot clock. Shoto gets it into Pillapil. It's James Pillapil in the game right now. Ortiz, 7 on the shot clock. He's got to do something. 5 to go. Puts it up from the free throw line and gets it in. 15th point of the night for the point guard. Robinson to Williams to Willard. Cougars trail by 3. 5 to go in the first half. Robinson to Guthrie low. Guthrie, one hopping in!
They are starting to notice one of the issues with this Scarlet Hawk lineup they got out there right now. It is a small lineup. Nobody really has a chance of matching up with Guthrie in the middle. He looked so wide open on that roll right there. Nobody even in the paint, even if they wanted to compete in the size department.
Williams getting a bit too aggressive, reaching in on James Pillapil. Now send Pillapil to the line for his first free throws of the night. Both Pillapils, James and Jason, are out on the court right now. They're the two around the free throw box, and they both have 2 points on the night. They're 1 for 1. James's first shot is up, and it bounces off the back of the rim and in. Looking to give the Scarlet Hawks a 3-point lead back. Both of these teams shooting very well as of late. Cougars 3 for their last 3. Scarlet Hawks 4 for their last 5. Shot number 2. No good. 2-point lead for Illinois Tech. Lalautis on the rebound. Williams to Willard. Willard to Lalautis. Down low to Willard. Kicking out to Johnson. Working his way in. Mid-range. Goes to Lalautis. Now Lalautis slashing. Mid-range, fade away, no good. Ortiz slinging to Pillapil. Shoto. Down low, no good. Ortiz can't get it to go. Johnson, wide open to the rim, can't get it to go.
Great opportunity right there with the Cougars with numbers. And another opportunity. We'll see if they can make it.
Lalautis trying to just roll it to Guthrie. A great track back from Jason Pillapil to get it in. And that's going to bring it to the final media timeout of the half. As we will send it down at courtside to Eric Perry for a quick check-in for the final stages of the half.
It's been a very fast-paced game for both teams. We've seen both teams sprinting up and down the court. That's something that we've seen the Cougars really excel at in the past. They're able to turn basketball games into a sprint. That's when they really shine. We've seen that they have the type of cardio that they can just win the endurance test against the other team. So obviously we're still in the first half. It's still a very close game, only a 2-point Tech lead. I think if the Cougars can keep up this frantic pace from the last few minutes into the second half and make it so that Tech is just running and running and running on repeat for most of the second half, the Cougars can definitely win that foot race and hopefully win the game. David and Jonathan, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And it's turned into a bit of a foot race. As of late, 4 to go. Both of these teams hot from the field as of late, but getting a little sloppy in the last minute there. 2-point deficit for the Cougs. It's 31-29 Illinois Tech with 3:41 to go. And it's Cougars ball, 26 on the shot clock. And we come out of the break. They'll send it to Guthrie. A.J. Willard over on the far side, calling the play. Willard going to Lalautis, slinging to Johnson. Johnson looking for somewhere to go, working the baseline. Stopping, turning, puts it up himself!
What a smooth up and under right there for Johnson, just making his moves right there down on the baseline, and that's a big bucket right there to cut us back to even.
We'll see how Tech responds. James Pillipil bringing it down court, goes to Shoto. Shoto working his way. Pillipil to Pillipil. It's Jason driving, going up for two, no good. Williams bringing it down to respond for the Cougs. Chance for the lead. Swinging to Willard, over to Johnson. Johnson trying to turn the corner, and they'll tag a foul on Jason Pillipil. That'll send Johnson to the line for 1-and-1. Cougars into the bonus for the first time tonight, as Coach Searles preps up a few substitutions. And they'll send him in right away. Coach Gray wants his man out on the court. It's Zachary Unovich, a senior from Perth.
Cougars also checking in a few new players.
Aaron Brown back out on the court with Sebastian Hill and Honore Yangwa. Johnson gets the first shot to go. Gives the Cougars lead back 32-31, looking to make it a multi-point Cougar lead for the first time since it was 5-3. Shots up and rattles in. 33-31 Concordia.
Yeah, nice little shooter's roll right there. Puts them up 2. Just under 3 minutes left to play.
Bryce Shoto bringing it down court. Corner 3 for Kuzmanovic. A rainbow through the net. And Tech has the lead back. Brown driving in. No shot, but they'll tag a foul on Kuzmanovic. Blocking on the freshman from London.
Yeah, that's what you like to see out of this Cougar offense. Aaron Brown finally taking it to the rack. CUC so far hasn't been too aggressive as far as kind of lowering the shoulder, trying to get to the rim.
Brown first shot doesn't go. Yangwao gets the rebound. No good. And some chaos after the fact. Brown and Kuzmanovic get tangled up. Foul gets tagged on. Brown Kuzmanovic will head to the line for 2-2. Not awful in the situation, but it's tough for Aaron Brown. That's likely the last of him we'll see in the first half. He's now up to 3 fouls. So Kuzmanovic will get 2 chances from the line. First one no good off the front of the rim. And the Cougars, they've struggled from the free throw line so far this season, and so has Tech, now 50% on the night alone. Kuzmanovic's second shot goes through the net. Picks up 1 on that trip. It's a 2-point lead for Tech. 2:20 to go. Yangwa pushing the pace to Willard down low, slinging for Hill. Hill to Williams. Williams back to Hill, 17 to go. They'll swing to Yangwa. Johnson, mid-range kick into Hill, able to reel it in, 10 to go. Long ball for Williams. Willard, Hill, cuts left, puts up the 3, no good off the bottom of the rim, and it's out of bounds. Scarlet Hawks ball.
Yeah, a lot going on in that possession, but not really a whole lot of penetration. Just couldn't really find themselves a good shot. Just kind of passing around the arc, little pass and cut, but nothing really coming of it.
2-point lead again for Tech. Chance to extend it. Shoto slashing straight to the rim. No good. It rattles out. Shoto grimaces at the roll. Willard, corner. Now Williams, and he travels. The turnover credited to the senior.
Yeah, just too many moves right there for D. Williams. Final 90 ticks of this first half.
Shoto pushing the pace. Carter Privet back into the game, almost forces a turnover. Kuzmanovic sets up the screen. Now slang to the corner, picked off by Williams. He's pushing the pace, goes up for the layup, no good, rebounded by Shoto. Now Junovic going the other way. Long ball over to Ortiz. Corner three for Salmon, no good. Kuzmanovic on the rebound. Now goes up for two, and it goes. 37-33 Tech. Willard in the corner, driving, baseline. And that's kicked out of bounds by Ortiz. That is not a large contingent here from Tech, with a combination of the Illinois Tech bench and the few family members and fans that are here are making these away fans very loud and an element tonight. And we're going to see your first timeout called of the half by Terrence Gray. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Dave, 46 seconds to go. Cougars trail by 4. They've been slumping as of late, 1 for their last 7. Are they just falling into a slump, or is Illinois Tech doing something differently out of the last media timeout?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, comfortably to say. Illinois Tech's doing a really good job switching up defensive looks consistently on the Cougars, and that's what's making it tough, because the Cougars overall are kind of very passive-aggressive overall on a lot of those possessions. That's when you see kind of just passing around the arc, not really taking a look at the net and driving. That's kind of what you're seeing. And then when they do drive, it's a lot of drive and kick, not necessarily driving to score. That's kind of what you need to see, is them going up with authority. And it's okay to kind of experience some contact at the rim, but you're not really seeing too much of it, and that's why they only have 4 free throws to show for it as well in this first half.
And coming back into the half, Cougars will keep possession, 23 on the shot clock. Carter Privet to inbound, 45 seconds to go in the half. Privet long inbound to Guthrie. Guthrie over to Johnson. Johnson slinging for Youngwa, and it looks like they're going to throw a foul in the paint on James Pillipil. So that'll send Youngwa to the line for 1-1.
You could make an argument that that's not a bad foul for Tech, just based on the matchup that they were experiencing right there. Just so much bigger on that side for the Cougars.
Youngwa on the season, a 54% from the free throw line. It is a sample size, only 11 attempts, but not the greatest clip. Robinson and Willard back into the game for Williams and Privet.
Yeah, IIT trying to make sure there's no second chance points on this possession right here as they check in Carter to box out on that block.
First shot from Youngwa. Drills it. They'll get a second. Now, Youngwa. 2 for 2 on that trip. It's a 2-point game. James Pillipil pushing the pace, working around Youngwa. Cougars double teaming in the corner. Ortiz, it's taken away. Lob, Robinson gets it to go. Give him another. And 1 for Jacob Robinson.
Yeah, finally the chaos for Tech goes back to kind of bite them right there. They've been kind of slipping away on a lot of really close possessions on both sides of the court. And right there just trying to make a little bit too much of a 1,000 IQ play, bouncing it off the CUC defender, and it doesn't work out for him there.
Robinson can't get the third point, so it's tied at 37. Pillipil. It's James Pillipil. Working to the left, going to Ortiz. Ortiz. There's somewhere to go. Working on Willard. 8 to go in the half. Ortiz wants the last shot. Kicking out to James Pillapil for three, no good. And that is how the half will end. All of that, and it's a tied game, 37-37. Illinois Tech and Concordia, Chicago, as we head to the break in what has been a tense matchup so far. We'll be back for the halftime show in a few minutes here on the Cougar Sports Network. courtside for the halftime show here on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Jonathan Shear here with Eric Perry and Dave Dimling. And guys, as we get ready to go for the second half, we're going to take a quick look back at the first half. What stood out to you guys so far for these two teams?
Absolutely. For me, you take a look at Illinois Tech, the efficiency on the offensive side has been huge, and it's been headlined by Ortiz. He's been dominating all night long, and he's played pretty much the whole first half for good reason.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been shooting at a very high rate all night, but Eric, how have they been able to stay with it? How is this high game at half?
Well, the big reason the Cougars have been able to say this is because they've been killing Tech when it comes to the offensive rebounding battle. Tech has 3 offensive rebounds. Concordia has 9. Concordia has 10 second chance points. 2 of Tech's 2. So the Cougars, when they've been missing shots, have been able to get the board and then convert it into points anyway. And that's how they've been able to keep that high game going into half.
Yeah, and a big part of that is some big names inactive at the start of the game, some game time scratches for Illinois Tech. John Davis III and Isaiah Dudley absent from the Scarlet Hawks tonight. And those are both players who aren't just great players, but they bring much needed size to the Scarlet Hawks team. And that's something we've seen disparity in so far, is the Cougars are just bigger than the Scarlet Hawks. They're able to work the ball in the paint the way they want to. Illinois Tech has been able to defend in the paint very well with that size disadvantage. He said Garrison Carter is putting up some great numbers and some great performances today, but he's just one guy. And that's where Illinois Tech is kind of struggling. They're starting to run out of outlets to keep things up, especially as those shots have started to stop falling. They've been able to stick with the Cougars as Concordia's gotten hot. Like we mentioned, it's a 37-37 game at half. Guys, we get ready to go. What do the Cougars need to do to win this game, Dan? And what does Illinois Tech need to do to come out on top, Eric?
I think for me, Illinois Tech, they need to be able to start hitting some of their own points. Like you said, they've been shooting at an increasingly high efficient so far in this game. That's the question whether or not that is sustainable throughout the game. I think some of the shots start missing, to be able to get the rebound and convert them into second chance.
Absolutely. And what's it for the Cougs for you, Dave?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be all about getting those early touches at the rack. For me, they've been a really good job on that cleanup crew, as Eric said, with those second chance points. Make it a little easier. Get you some layups on that first attempt instead of taking so many high-pressure shots from beyond the arc.
As you can see behind us, Cougs back out on the court. We're going to head back upstairs. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Center for half number 2 between the Cougars and the Scarlet Hawks. We're back on the Cougar Sports Network for half number 2. Scarlet Hawks starting things off with possessions. Nicholas Ortiz goes to work on Honore Yangwa. And Garrison Carter gets things going with an easy layup, posting up in the paint, 39-37, Illinois Tech. That's someone the Scarlet Hawks are going to need to get going in this half. Guthrie kicking to Willard, back to Yangwa. Yangwa, double team picked up by Obrad Kuzmanovic. Yangwa driving, going for 2, no good. Guthrie's able to slap it up there. Long ball to Shoto! Lays it in. Fast start for Illinois Tech. They've broken the tie already and are up 4.
You talk about hitting the ground running. Just over 50 seconds into the game, and they're already up 4 in the start of this half.
And there's going to be a break in the pace of play. Foul tagged on Jason Pillipil.
Aaron Brown quickly checking out. Looked to be a little bit of discomfort with that right knee potentially.
Riker Johnson back into the game. A.J. Willard working left, going to Yangwa. Yangwa to Guthrie. Guthrie posting up on Ortiz, going up for 2, and he gets it in. There's that size disadvantage. Ortiz, again, he is not the guy you want matched up on the 6'8 freshman.
No, not even a little. And that's a mismatch that Guthrie can kind of take advantage of with pretty much anybody on the court just based on the physicality that he brings to the table, especially when Carter's on the other side.
Now Ortiz working on Guthrie. He goes to Salmon, taken away by Williams. Williams driving, and he's fouled. That'll get tagged on Nicholas Ortiz. And Williams will head to the line for 2. That's just an aggressive drive from the senior there. He saw a little bit of a gap in the center of the court. Slashed straight through the hole, and it's either going to be a bucket or a foul.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is kind of one of the things I was hoping to see, obviously very early on in the second half, but just overall slashing in general is kind of the thing that they were lacking a little bit in that first half. Obviously, when you're in transition, you're not typically pulling up for a jump shot of any kind, but it's good to see it in flow.
Second shot from Williams is good, so he goes 1 for 2, brings the Cougars back within 1. Bryce Shoto facing the press from Willard, gets it to Salmon. Salmon to Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic is going to kick it back high to Shoto. Now Ortiz on the near side, has some space, stops, jumps, puts up 2.
Ortiz just looks so comfortable taking those shots off that rhythm dribble.
Now Johnson working down low, no good, rebounded by Carter. And Johnson fighting for the jump ball, can't hang on to it long enough as Carter just writhes around. And that'll be the first foul of the half on the Cougars.
Johnson tagged with his 3rd foul as well, so he's going to have to take a seat, catch a little bit of a breather, hopefully come back ready to go.
Long ball for Ortiz, working on Yangwa. Goes up and he draws the foul.
And Carter just wind it up like a shortstop, throwing it across the diamond right there. Takes advantage of the little bit of a too much pressure on that press defense for the Cougars.
Yeah, we started seeing that a little bit at the end of the half as Illinois Tech started to figure out this Cougar press. Just sending that Hail Mary lob to the other side of the court. Ortiz a chance to make it a 5-point game with these 2 shots. First one's up, first one's in.
And Robinson will check in for Williams.
Ortiz, ready? Drills it. And that's now 19 on the night for Ortiz. He's been averaging 9.8 on the year. That's someone the Scarlet Hawks really needed to step up with Dudley and Davis III out tonight.
I mean, and not only is it 19, it's an efficient 19. He's shooting 67% from the field so far today.
Yanghua to Willard for three. No good, off the back of the rim. Shoto pushing the pace. Slashing, middle, kicking to Carter for three. Drills it! And suddenly it's an 8-point game for Tech. And Coach Rashawn Searles is going to call his first time out of the half. And after that flash from the Scarlet Hawks, we're going to send it down to Eric Perry on the sideline.
Second half, how do they stop Nicholas Ortiz? He has been a dominant force for the Scarlet Hawks. He had 50 going into half, already thrown an extra 4 and got the Scarlet Hawks lead up to 8. So in the second half, the Cougars are going to have to figure out how they can either force him to take more difficult shots that aren't as much of a gimme shot, or if they can lock him up so he's not even able to take shots, and instead force him to try to spread the ball around to a supporting cast and rely on the other players on the Scarlet Hawks to have to make the plays and be the ones to step up. And then on the Cougar side, they're going to kind of get in a bit more of a rhythm. They've been a little bit off here in the second half. They just kind of have to get settled with this timeout and get all on the same page and become more of a cohesive unit and get themselves out of 8 points, 17 minutes still. There is plenty of time for the Cougars to come back as they still get on this game. Jonathan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. And 7-0 run for Illinois Tech in the last minute. They're hot. It's an 8-point lead, and the Cougars have got to respond quickly.
Absolutely, Jonathan. We'll see if the Cougars kind of bringing in a couple fresh subs, fresh legs off the bench. We'll see if they can get it going.
Jacob Robinson back into the game for the Cougars. I'm going to provide a spark plug at point. Cougars trying to set up a play, working those rotations. Swinging to Hill. Hill thought about a long three. Can't get the pass to go. Now he's slinging for Willard. Down low to Brown. 4-2. How about that ball movement from Concordia? And the set piece out of the timeout works. Inbound to Ortiz. Double teamed. Can't get rid of it. Slings for Shoto. Now Shoto's under pressure. And he draws the foul.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure if CUC was going to get away with that. Couple ticky-tack fouls along the way, but can't be mad about the aggressiveness when you're down 6. You got to find a way to get back in the contest.
Reset on the shot clock for the Scarlet Hawks. Ortiz going to work on Willard, gets past half. Slinging for Kuzmanovic. Down low for Carter, he's going to go to work on Brown. Carter stops, jumps, draws the foul.
Aaron Brown trying to plead his case, but it definitely looked like he kind of jumped into Carter right there and engaged in that contact. More unfortunately than that is that's going to put Aaron Brown deep into that foul trouble.
Foul number 4, 1 away from his night being over. That's not great for the Cougars because the big man you're going to sub in for him is Riker Johnson, who is also in foul trouble with 3. Harrison Carter expressing his displeasure with that first brick off the back of the rim. So Brown back out of the game. Carter can't gonna make it an 8-point game. He's gonna try to make it a 7-point game. And he does not do so. Johnson with the rebound. Yanghua will bring it down court. And he's just gonna slash in, stops, slings to Hill. Hill driving, baseline, going up for 2, and it goes! Sebastian Hill with a tough 2. Now Ortiz driving, Going up on Johnson, tries to slam it off the backboard and it doesn't go. Riker Johnson slashing up for two, no good. Rebounded by Ortiz. Thought about a long ball, can't get it to go. Oh, he's gonna sling it to Kuzmanovic. Nearly got caught with the over the back, just able to get those feet up.
Yeah, it really looked like it was, and you had the entire Cougar bench also jumping at the bit right there.
Now Carter driving in for two.
What a split right there, splitting those two defenders. Gets you a good bucket, puts you back up for 6.
Yangwa in the corner, driving a baseline. And he is out of bounds. Illinois Tech doing a great job of responding to any positive momentum the Cougars have gotten so far. And that's going to bring us back down courtside with Eric Perry at the student section.
For the Cougars now is you are dealing with a lot of fouls. You got Aaron Brown, the leading scorer for the Cougars, with 10 points. He's got 4 fouls, so you kind of expect that you're not going to see him for the next few minutes, at least until the 10-minute mark of the game, because you can't afford to lose him early. So you really have to weigh if you're Rashawn Rose. At what point do you bring Aaron Brown back into this game? Because he's got foul trouble, and the man replacing him is Riker Johnson, who's also in a bit of foul trouble. So you have to make some very interesting strategic decisions if you're coach Rashawn Rose, and you have several key players that are very close to leaving this game for good here in the second half. David and Jonathan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. And yeah, we get ready to go. We've seen Riker Johnson coming in, like Eric talked about, for Aaron Brown. He's making an impact on the court for the Cougars, but he is in foul trouble himself. So we'll see how Coach Searles works those rotations with his big men, as you got to protect their ability to play on the court, especially in what could be a close game, as the Cougars are going to have to fight back from down 6.
Absolutely. They've been here before, though. They kind of know this position. On the opposing side for Illinois Tech, that this is kind of, not to say uncharted waters, because obviously they've had a handful of wins this season, but for a 4-10 team, you wouldn't expect the kind of performance that they've been able to put on the floor so far tonight, especially missing some of those key players that we kind of discussed that they're missing.
And now we'll bring it back in court. The official stop play because of a wet court. Coach Terrence Gray fired up.
You could tell he probably had a personal favorite press break probably drawn up, and CUC got a free look at some of it.
And we'll get that into Unovich. They'll go to Shoto down low. They're going to send Carter running. Shoto, it's pickpocketed away. He's got to go himself. Another pickpocket, but it's straight to Kuzmanovic. Ortiz taking the screen. Going to Shoto. Now swinging to Carter in the corner for 3. No good. Pryor gets the rebound. Lobs it up for Willard. Willard going up on Ortiz for 2. A.J. Willard rims it in. Bryce Shoto almost has it taken away, and they're going to tag a foul on Willard. Almost a loose ball. Shoto able to get in front of it enough to draw the foul. It's the 5th foul already in the half against the Cougars. And that puts A.J. Willard at 3 and into foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Willard really is just flying around, though, these last few minutes. It seems like he's everywhere the ball is, and that's one of those key presents that you really love to see for the Cougars.
Unovich driving, it's tapped away. A steal for Hill. Robinson going to the rim for 2, and it's a 2-point game.
And this is starting to see where that kind of short bench for Illinois Tech is starting to come to bite them right now in these final 14 minutes of the contest.
Ooh, a circus shot.
Yeah, awkward finish right there for Shoto. Looks like he was hoping to get some kind of contact call.
Robinson to Willard, back to Robinson. 20 on the shot clock. Hill working, middle, looking for a pass. Nowhere to go, gets it to Robinson. He pulls up for three, hits it! First of the half for the Cougs, Jacob Robinson on a heater. He's up to 7 on the game. And they're gonna tag another foul on AJ Willard as he tries to track down a loose ball on Bryce Shoda. Willard is heated. And he's now 1 foul away from fouling out himself.
Yeah, that's one of the tough parts with playing the role that Willard does play, is the intensity has to be matched by the rest of the team, the rest of those players on the floor. Otherwise, it's going to look as erratic, and that's kind of the downside with that. Not saying that the Cougars aren't playing very intense on defense, but that's kind of one of those things that you get when it's that standard above everyone else.
Ortiz pops it, no good, rebounded by Pryor. Williams on the far side to Hill, pulls up 3, no good, rebounded by Ortiz.
I think if that one fell, guys might have exploded right there.
Carter for 3, drills it! Garrison Carter is 4 for 6 from deep.
You know, for a 31% three-point shooter, he's having quite the day so far.
Hill kicking to Robinson for 3. That's well short. And rebounded by Kuzmanovic. Shoto, easy run to the rim, but Pryor gets up there. Now Williams to Hill. He'll pull up for an open 3. No good, off the back of the rim.
Yeah, both teams just kind of getting their cardio in right now. A whole lot of nothing on both sides, just straight running up and down the court.
Shoto over to Ortiz. They'll go down low to Kuzmanovic, who gets the 2. And it's back up to a 6-point game, and the Cougars have got to find a way to get over the hump every time they claw back within 1 possession. The Scarlet Hawks have found a way to respond. Robinson sees a lane, driving, just throws it up, and it's no good. Now Ortiz has some space. He's going to drive in himself and just chuck it up there, trying to draw a foul. Yangwa gets the rebound, and he looks to be in some pain. And they'll tag a foul on Carter against Williams. And Yangwa is going to come out of the game, and that is a big loss for the Cougars. Honore Yangwa, 8 points, 8 rebounds so far tonight. And as these teams take a timeout on the court, we'll take a timeout here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a minute. We're back on the Cougar Sports Network, and so are the Pulipo brothers. James and Jason back out on the court to start this possession on defense for the Scarlet Hawks. Williams slinging to Robinson into Guthrie. Williams stops, 3. rattles in. The shooter's bounce, and that's the start. The Cougars wanted out of the timeout. Ortiz getting fancy, and he draws the foul. And that is going to send the Scarlet Hawks into the bonus, so it'll be 1-1 for Ortiz.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of running that press. While it looks really beautiful, Robinson turning over Ortiz that whole time. You get tagged with one ticky-tack foul right there, and those add up over the course of the half, and that's why you find yourself in the single bonus already with 11 minutes left in the half.
Ortiz first shot is good. And for a team that honestly has struggled a lot from the free throw line tonight, Ortiz is really carrying the load with that percentage. A perfect 5 for 5 so far, looking to make it a perfect 6 for 6.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is Ortiz overall is just such a smooth stroke when he's kind of hitting those pull-up jump shots. It's been pretty big for them so far today.
59-54 Tech. Robinson running point, working on James Pillipole. Goes to Hill. Hill working in, mid-range, throws it up, no good, rebounded by Kuzmanovic. Nicholas Ortiz working on Hill on the far side now, going low to Carter. Carter slinging for Kuzmanovic for 2. Strong response from Tech again. Williams down low to Pryor for 2, and the Cougars respond. Jason Pillipole trying to go quickly, gets it to Carter. Ortiz has it stripped as he tries to go up for the shot. It's out of bounds. It's off of the Cougars. So it will stay with Tech, but it does prevent the shot. And we'll see Riker Johnson come back into the game for the Cougars. And bat that to Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic's come alive in this second half, up to 11 points on the night. Carter posting up on Johnson. Guthrie comes in, gets on the ball, and Carter playing into the contact draws the foul on Guthrie.
Yeah, another tough foul call right there unfortunately going against the Cougars right there. Just another spot where they're just kind of find themselves just wrong place, wrong time, just a little bit too aggressive for Guthrie. And that's going to put Carter at the line. Carter struggled at the line so far tonight, only 1 for 4. We'll see how it balances out in these 1-and-1s.
Yeah, and you're starting to see Coach Searles show a little bit of frustration with it, and part of that is just going to be because of the position that your team's in, because of that foul disparity. We mentioned the Cougars are playing more aggressive in this half, and that's led to a 5-foul disparity in the second half so far. 8 for the Cougars, only 3 against the Scarlet Hawks, so you still only got 3 fouls called against the opponent, and the Scarlet Hawks are putting up 1-and-1s on every foul right now, and that's going to be frustrating regardless of the reason. It is playing a large impact on how this game is going to be played for the next 10 minutes. Carter hits both of those free throws, and it's back to a 7-point game. And he finally taps out for the first time in this half. Garrison Carter, he's had a massive second half. He's up to 18 on the night. And we'll see how Zachary Unovich does in replacement. Williams trying to work his way in. He's going to draw the foul on James Pillipole.
Pillipole getting a little handsy right there on Williams. That's good enough to put the shot clock back to 20.
Well, inbound to Robinson. Robinson going to work on Pillipole. Going to Williams for 3. No good. It's off the top of the backboard, and it'll go to Tech.
Yeah, I really think if you're the Cougars right now with Carter out of the game for Tech, if they can find some kind of switch for Guthrie with Kuzmanovic no longer guarding him. You got to find a way to get him the ball, whether it's a pick and roll, a little slip on that. You got to find a way to get him because there's so many mismatched opportunities when he's out there. Naturally, he's going to find his way to get a bucket when he's inside the charge circle.
Yeah, here's Filippo swinging at Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic working on Guthrie, driving, and he just throws it, and they're going to call it out of bounds off of the Cougars. And that's going to go to review.
Yeah, that might be the quickest challenge I've seen so far in the new rules that we've had going.
Yeah, Coach Searles immediately wants the review. I'm not sure if there was a Cougar arm close enough to get a hand on that ball. And they're confirming with Coach Searles that he is going to call a timeout to challenge the call, and he will. So here we go. First challenge since winter break here in Geisman Gymnasium. That's one of those rule updates in the NAC this season. Media timeouts are a thing, as is video replay. So the officials, they'll have a chance to come over and discuss the call, review the footage, and consider whether or not they may have gotten it wrong and it could be Cougar ball.
Yeah, I think the part that'll be interesting is kind of the overall difficulty is there's only one active angle at each moment in Geisman, so kind of that camera angle that you're seeing at home as on the viewer of the YouTube stream, that's kind of that same angle that they're going to be looking at. They're just kind of rewinding the clip and just kind of taking a look on the monitor in front of them. So we'll see if they're going to see anything that is worthy of flipping the call from being originally out on Cougars, and it would have been Scarlet Hawk ball with 19 seconds on that shot clock.
Yeah, it looks like, watching the replay here, the angle is tough to say that a Cougar got a hand on it. It can't be Guthrie. He's on the wrong side of the ball. If it's anyone, it's got to be Sebastian Hill coming in from the outside, and Hill wasn't really putting those arms up yet. You can tell by the reaction of not just Guthrie, but Hill as well. They are confident that they did not touch that ball. What it looked like was Pilipil was driving, tries to go up for the layup, didn't get a good run-up, didn't get a good jump. He just flies into Guthrie, can't keep up with the ball and follow through, and it just flies off of the hand. You don't see plays like that on a slasher a lot. You usually get a better launch from the player driving, so the official probably going to think, oh, someone knocked that out, someone knocked that loose. It's not what it looked like. It just looks like an errant shot.
Yeah, guess they're going to stick with it.
So they'll keep it with the Scarlet Hawks. So Coach Searles is going to ask for the explanation on why it was not overturned. So he'll have a quick chat with the officials. And they'll smile it off, and they're actually are going to overturn. So I'm not sure how that review process works. They point possession over to the Scarlet Hawks. They talk to Coach Searles. Then they reconvene, and then it goes over to the Cougars.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw one of the expressions for the far sideline official. He originally looked a little confused coming out of the review when one of the officials pointed in the direction of Scarlet Hawks. So it seemed like they had come to the conclusion that it was going to be Cougar ball, but that's why they kind of reconvened, kind of talk about it. Just a small confusion, but I think it was the right review overall.
So the Cougars win the challenge, have possession, 10 on the shot clock. No look pass into Guthrie. Back out to Hill. Wide open from three. No good. And he can't get his own rebound. And they're going to tag him with a foul on the follow through as well.
Not only that, that's going to lead to more free throws for Pilipil in this Scarlet Hawk offense.
Yeah, another tough break for the Cougars. This is the team. They have been struggling from three, and they are still struggling from 3, especially in this half. 2 for 8, 25%, 27% on the night as a whole. Sebastian Hill, he is a guy the Cougars throw out there. He's going to throw up some circus shots from 3. He's the guy you want to hit those. We saw that against Wisconsin Lutheran. He was lights out, just chucking up, running threes there. That, a wide open 3, if you're going to take that shot, you've got to hit that. And we've seen the Cougars have those a few times tonight, and they haven't been able to hit them. And it's kind of letting them gradually fall back and lose ground against Illinois Tech. It's the reason you're not able to claw back that gap fully.
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. I think one of the tough parts, too, is, like you kind of mentioned with that three-point shooting, is the Cougars, unfortunately, they lack a true just three-point specialist. They don't really have a 3-and-D guy that can kind of play clamp defense on the wing and then lace a couple threes from the corner of the wing. And I think that's kind of one of those tough parts that you see time and time again throughout this season is when, of course, D. Williams is a strong shooter, but when he's bringing up the ball, he's got no one to pass it to hit one of those big-time threes. So that's what the downside is for a lot of the driving and then kicking out. There's nobody that's really there to kind of make the defense pay when they all crash on the drives.
Yeah. So Jason Pillipil was going to get 1-and-1. Kuzmanovic is going to get the rebound. They'll call it a jump ball, and possession will go over to the Cougars. Yeah, going back to that, you mentioned the lack of the 3-and-D. We kind of seen that. The big questions to the Cougars coming into the year, what are you going to do without your 2 star players, Jacob Collicott, Joel Watts? Joel Watts, he was that 3-and-D, and the Cougars, and even for him and Collicott, instead of replacing, they've played a whole new brand of basketball. But, like you mentioned, Dave, you still miss that sometimes, especially in games like this. Williams for 3, no good. Rebounded by Ortiz. Ortiz bringing it up slowly, working on Yangwa. 8.5 to go. They lead by 7. Going to Carter. Carter thought about 3, pumps, drives, puts it up, no good. And they're going to call the foul on Honore Yangwa. That's foul number 10. It would have been 2 shots either way, but it will put Illinois Tech into the double bonus for the rest of the game. Yeah, and that disparity in keeping it clean and not committing fouls is causing a massive difference in this game, especially in the second half. The Cougars have 1 point off of free throws in the second half. They've had 1 trip to the line, and it was Aaron Brown. He went 1 for 2. On the other hand, Illinois Tech, they have been to the line a lot. They've had over 10 attempts. They've had 7 of those made, and that is the difference in the game pretty much at this point in the game, give or take a bucket here and there. So 8 points off of free throws, you lead by 9. That's the difference maker. Compounding with that, the Cougars, they're on a scoring drought. They haven't scored in more than 2 minutes. Going low to Brown. Brown out to Hill. Thought about 3. He'll lob it over to Laulautis. Now reset with Yangwa. 6 on the shot clock. Laulautis driving. Baseline. And it looks like he's fouled. It'll get tagged on Unovich. And they'll stay on the ground. Cougars will keep possession, and they'll get a reset on the shot clock. So you look at that as we get a timeout on the court. These 2 squads, they are separated by 9 points, and we'll see what Eric Perry has to say on that down on the sideline.
What's going to be interesting here in the last 8 minutes of this game is how aggressive Coach Rashawn Searles wants his Cougars to be. After all, we have several players in foul trouble. We've also got kind of 9-point differential to make up, so that necessitates at least being a little bit aggressive. But then again, you also have the Scarlet Hawks are already in the double-double, so you have to weigh that. Ask yourself, how aggressive do you want your team to play, knowing that if you get fouls, the Scarlet Hawks go to the line and they're shooting too. One thing that might also sway the argument for you want your team to keep being aggressive and keep trying to go in and get the aggressive plays, that the Scarlet Hawks have not been exactly shooting lights out from the free throw line. They've left 7 points on the board just from free throws. So down the stretch, the question that Rashawn Searles is going to have to weigh is, do you go all in on the aggressiveness and try to get back in the game, or do you pull back a little bit? David Jonathan, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you to Charlie T for their insight on the sideline. Cougars have possession, 20 seconds on the shot clock. They trail by 9. They haven't scored in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Illinois Tech hasn't scored a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes. Both of these teams are just struggling to score from the field right now. And again, it's that free throw disparity that's causing the difference. Lauladis, he'll take a corner 3. It'll rattle out, no good. What they'll call a foul on the rebound, tagged on Obrad Kuzmanovic. That's another reset of the shot clock, and the Cougars will retain possession. 0 for 4 on their last attempts from the field for CUC. They'll go low to Brown, trying to post up, double team, spinning. Low off the front of the rim, still loose. Carter's got to get to someone, and he finds Ortiz. Ortiz will go to Carter, to Kuzmanovic. Carter again. He's going to take the matchup with Johnson, slinging it to Shoto. Shoto.
Smart possession right here from Illinois Tech. This is kind of what you want to do if you're the Scarlet Hawks. Covet that 9-point lead, protect it with your life. There's a big rainbow right there for Carter. Wow.
The law of averages says he's got to stop at some point. Garrison Carter's shots say no. 5th 3 of the night for the big man. And Riker Johnson responds with a tray. 3 for each, and it stays at 9.
Yeah, that's big swing right there. Huge that Riker Johnson's able to put it back to where it was, but the Scarlet Hawks able to take off 30 seconds on each possession. Even if they're not scoring, they're really cutting down on the amount of possessions that are going to be left in this game. There's another good cut right there. Unable to finish.
Pilipo can't get it over Hill. Johnson just driving in, and he draws the foul. They'll get tagged on Garrison Carter. And it looks like they're actually going to tag on Kuzmanovic. That's a break for the Scarlet Hawks. But you do have a bunch of players at 3 fouls for Illinois Tech now, one of them being Garrison Carter. So Johnson will get 2 shots at the line, and he can't get the first to go.
Cougars bringing Willard back in for a little bit of quick spark defense, maybe trying to get a turnover real quick in that backcourt. Trying to turn the tides.
Neither shot goes, but Brown gets the rebound and the second chance bucket for 2. A big rebound for Aaron Brown to make it a productive possession for Concordia.
And the main thing with the Cougars right now is playing clean, but can't foul on these defensive possessions.
Yeah, and Shoto just flying around there. And Illinois Tech's going to get the timeout in. Coach Searles wanted to travel before the timeout and arguably should have gotten it. But they'll keep it with Illinois Tech. Nicholas Ortiz looking like a wide receiver with how he's laying out for the loose balls midair.
Illinois Tech taking a 30-second timeout. Smart play right there by the coach right there. Ortiz dives on the ball.
Yeah, you can tell Rashawn Searle with a little bit of frustration setting in. Not many things are going your way so far in this second half. The balls aren't bouncing your way. The shots aren't falling your way. The calls aren't going your way. So you got to find a way to play through that adversity, whatever it may be, because tonight's just not your night so far. And you trail by 7. Illinois Tech's got the ball with 20 on the shot clock, and you got to come out of the timeout strong again.
Absolutely. And right now, if you're Coach Rashawn of the Cougs right now, you're probably not thinking about down the road, but you were probably counting on this one being a free win, just looking at the standings overall. When you're the Cougs, if you want to get into the postseason, typically you need about at least 9 wins if you want to find your way into the playoffs. So there's another big move right there by Carter.
Brings it back to a 9-point game. And yeah, that's something the Cougars did great to start the year. Win the games you're supposed to. This is one of those games you're supposed to win, and right now they're not winning it.
Absolutely. That's one of the crazy things about the NAC season overall. There's just so many teams that are frisky. It puts you in a spot where there's so many teams that are just able to show up on any night. When you have every team's got a guy like Carter that's able to drop 25 on the night, 30 on the night, and it's just creates so much chaos throughout the conference.
Honore Angwa, after the foul tagged on Ortiz, will get 1-1 at the line. First one goes. So the Cougars got a few guys in foul trouble. Yangwa and Johnson with 3, Willard and Brown with 4. All of them on the court right now. And then it's a quad of guys with 3 fouls over on Tech side. Kuzmanovic, Ortiz, Pilipo, and Carter. And a lot of that owes to the fact that Illinois Tech has just kept the same guys out on the court all half. And Kuzmanovic can't get the pass off before he travels. It's a turnover as he starts to defend himself to his coach, Terrence Gray. And the Cougars force another turnover. They'll take possession back, down by 7. Yangwa to Willard to Lalautis. They're going for Yangwa down low. It's tipped out of bounds by Shoto. Inbound to Johnson. Riker Johnson to Brown to Willard. Willard, mid-range, driving, lays it up and in. A.J. Willard makes it a 5-point game, and that's Willard's second bucket of the night. Ortiz, low in for Carter. Carter thought about 3. He's going to go to work on Brown. Dishing out to Kuzmanovic, over to Ortiz. Ortiz resetting calls. This is another one of those smart possessions you talked about, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going low to Carter. Long 2. Rattles out. Rebounded by Yangwa, and he draws the foul. It's tagged on Bryce Shoto. And this is it's a weird pattern. Illinois Tech able to play so clean through the first 10 minutes, and then you get a little tired. You get a little more intense in those last 10 minutes, and they're starting to catch up with the Cougars on those fouls. The foul disparity, which was once at 7, is now just 1.
Absolutely. I think one of the main things, too, when you look at it, the Cougar fouls came from just over-the-top aggressiveness, whereas IIT kind of laid on. They were kind of just getting a little bit too sloppy when they're only able to rely on 7 or 8 players on the roster to play so many minutes, whereas the Cougars can have a comfortable 11 to 13 guys, and that small difference is what you're seeing right now in these final 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, the Cougars able to turn things around. It's back to a 3-point game. 6-0 run in the last minute for Concordia. Ortiz working on Yangwa. 10 on the shot clock, glowing low to Carter. Carter driving, taken away by Yangwa! Johnson trying to respond on Shoto, chucks it up for 2! It's a 1-point game! They're going quick to Garrison Carter, and he doesn't get the bucket, and they're going to call it a foul after the bucket, it looks like.
I believe they're going to tag Pilipo. That'll be his 4th, and not only that, it's more shots for the Cougars.
And talk about a momentum shift. Suddenly, the Cougars sliding are 1 free throw away from tying this game back up. It's an 8-0 run in the last minute 50, a 13-2 run in the last 2:55, and they're 4 for their last 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you're kind of seeing that we've been talking about right there on that transition possession for Illinois Tech is Carter's just a little out of gas.
Yeah.
And then he still tries to force the bucket, and unfortunately, your body just doesn't move quite the same in that once you're a little bit more tired running on fumes, and that's how you get that missed layup right there.
Yeah, I think another part of that is he's covered by Aaron Brown. Brown is aware he's playing with 4 fouls. He's not going to try to pick up that 5th foul and come out of the game. Carter's going up for that, expecting contact, and when Brown pulls off, there's no contact, and suddenly it's, crap, I've got to get the shot up. Nearly another turnover for Tech. Can they get it across? It's picked off by Lalautis. Down low to Yangwa. Yangwa for two. No good. Rebounded by Ortiz. They're going long to Carter. Carter driving. Gets it in, and they take back the lead. Chaos in Geisman.
I mean, I tell you what, Jonathan, it's felt like it's been the last minute of the game for the last 10 minutes. It's been quite an exhilarating so far, and we still got 3.5 minutes to go.
Yangwa, he's going to slow it down. Willard to Lolaudis to Johnson. Yangwa trying to turn the corner. Can't get the pass off, but he does draw the foul. It's tagged on Bryce Shoto, his second of the night. And that'll bring us to our final media timeout of the night. And after a rapid flurry from Concordia, we'll see what Eric Perry's seeing on the sideline.
What we've seen here in the last few minutes of this game is that the Cougars, like you've been saying all game, are able to keep up and run and run and run. And the Scarlet Hawks, again, they had the foul disparity, but now they've been getting tired because they've had the starters out there for now the vast majority of the game. And what we're seeing is that as we're getting to the last 3.5 minutes or so, they're getting tired, they're getting sloppier, and that means not only are the shots not being able to fall, but that means when they're trying to transition back on defense, they're causing fouls, and that's sending the Cougars straight to the line, and that's what made this just a 3-point game. So now the question if you're the Scarlet Hawks is, do you leave that 4 or 5 starting group out here for the last 3.5 minutes knowing that they're pretty much gassed, or do you trust them to try and bring this thing home and not cause the foul to finish the job on offense?
Yeah.
That's the question the Scarlet Hawks are going to have to figure out. David and Jonathan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric. And he's right, that foul disparity changing is really what changed this game. You can tell, Dave, the story of the game by looking at the story of the foul disparity. Calls aren't going the Cougars' way. It's a big lead for Illinois Tech. Suddenly the calls are going the Cougars' way. Illinois Tech suddenly actually has more fouls called on them on the game as a whole compared to the Cougars. And Concordia's clawed it right back to a 2-point game. They were tied at 70, and it suddenly feels like it's anyone's night.
Absolutely, Jonathan. I think one of the things that we might start to see in these final 3.5 minutes as well is the two different kind of emotions between these two benches, two sides on the court, as well as the coaching staffs. A very emotional coaching staff versus a super even keel kind of emotion-based program. So I'm really curious to see that clash and kind of see how they both handle these final few minutes.
Yangwa ties it up at 72, hits both buckets, puts him at 13 on the night. Willard almost able to pick that off. They'll slow it down. A.J. Willard got to be careful. He's at 4 fouls. Shoto kicking out to Mitch. Now Carter going to work on Brown. Going up with it, and he gets the bucket. That's a tough bucket for Garrison Carter. He's now at 28 on the night.
That's so challenging, too, because Aaron Brown's been such a solid piece protecting that paint, but at the same point,
Yangwa wants 3. It's off the side of the rim. Johnson fighting for the rebound. Can't get it. Ortiz pushing the pace. Slinging to Shoto. Now Pilipo going up for 2. Blocked by Yangwa. It's a loose ball, a jump ball, and that'll go the way of the Scarlet Hawks. The Cougars defense gets a chance to reset after Pilipo's not able to get the bucket. Ortiz going to Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic driving, and he draws the charge! Aaron Brown sets his feet, takes the hit, but Illinois Tech confident that they want a review.
A lot riding on this review. Illinois Tech's headspace is probably nothing wrong with taking the timeout right now as it is, and on top of it, the whole swing, you get a chance for 2 points at the free throw line, as well as Cougars lose Aaron Brown for the rest of the night if that is changed.
And they're not going to review it. Illinois Tech won't take a timeout. The officials, they won't call for a review. And the foul does go against Kuzmanovic. Aaron Brown will stay in the game, and the Cougars will take possession. Robinson to Johnson. Thought about 3. He'll sling to Willard. Willard slashing, kicks out to Hill for 3. It's short, Willard gets the rebound, fights his way out. Robinson for three. No good again. He gets his own rebound. Second chance bucket. No good. Brown gets the rebound. And they're going to call it out of bounds on the Cougars.
4 chances right there for the Cougars, unable to get themselves back in it. Now they're going to need a stop.
And again, it's those three-pointers. You got to hit those three-pointers, those open three-pointers when you have the chance. The Cougars in the second half, just 3 for 14, 21% from deep. And this is a team, they didn't take a lot of threes earlier in the year. They've upped that volume a lot as of late. But if you're going to take a lot of threes, you got to be able to hit them. 2-point disparity. Pilipo escapes, goes to Ortiz. Ortiz, he's going to slow it down a bit. Slow it all the way down. Try and drain that clock. Carter. He has a 30-point night. Slows it up. Kuzmanovic for 2. No good. Out of bounds off of Johnson. And that's a reset shot clock for Tech. And you look at those trends. The Cougars, after playing hot, suddenly 0 for their last 6. No buckets from the field in the last 3 minutes. Ortiz lobbing for Kuzmanovic. Kuzmanovic working on Johnson. Going to Pilipo. Now Ortiz thought about 3, realized he wasn't going to have the footwork. Carter, pump fake, driving, and 1! He gets the bucket! Garrison Carter puts the team on his back and a chance to make it a 5-point game.
I mean, that's just a huge bucket right there. Just changes a lot for how these final 90 seconds are going to go in this contest. Cougars playing down.
It's a 5-point game, 77 to 72. Garrison Carter, a tough bucket. That also puts Riker Johnson at 4 fouls. He's 1 away from going out. Minute 20 to go. Lalaudis to Yangwa. Yangwa to Hill. Lobbing for Lalaudis. Lalaudis setback corner 3. No good. Rebounded by Yangwa. The putback no good. Another putback from Brown. Oh, but Yangwa is down, holding the back of his leg, and he is in some pain. But that, I'm going to be honest, Dave, that looks like a cramp.
Yeah, I believe that's about as standard of a cramp as you're going to see right there. Just immediately going into stretching out that hamstring.
Yeah. Those things hurt, man. Those things hurt. And we saw Yangwa dealing with a bit of the tightness in the calf earlier tonight. Had to come out of the game for it. We'll see if he can stay a part of this game. But that's a big play for the sophomore. It puts him into a double-double on the night, 14 and 10 points and rebounds.
Yeah, really strong night in those 27 minutes he's been on the court so far. Definitely a piece that you want to see out there. Been one of those strong spots at the free throw line as well, 8 of 8.
Yeah, that's a third chance bucket, but a bucket's a bucket from Aaron Brown, and that's something the Cougars really needed on that possession to bring it back to a one-possession game with a minute 08:06 to go. Youngloss still getting worked on by the trainers. Tech almost on their way out. Now they want some water, and now the officials are going to call them back out. You look at those Illinois Tech stat sheet. 4 players over 30 minutes played. Shoto and Ortiz at 36 minutes played tonight. Garrison Carter will inbound for the Scarlet Hawks. They'll go to Shoto. Shoto not going to rush too much. Cougars not pressing too much. Minute left in the game. Scarlet Hawks with a 3-point lead. Shoto working right, goes to Ortiz. Ortiz kicking to Kuzmanovic. Carter wants it. Kuzmanovic will take it himself. Spinning, lays it up. No good. Pryor with the rebound. 40 seconds to go, Cougars. They don't want to take too long.
Well, the age-old question, do you go for a 2 or do you shoot that long ball?
Robinson going to Pryor. 30 seconds left in the game, 15 on the shot clock. You don't get the 3 here, you're going to need to foul. Robinson will take it. He'll hit it! Jacob Robinson ties it up at 77!
Oh, my goodness. Ortiz asked the coach if they want to foul. They're not going to.
Guys been on their feet. Carter driving. And he plays into the contact and draws the foul. So it's going to send Carter to the line for 2 and 2. And it's going to end Riker Johnson's night with his 5th foul. Tough end in what's been a big game for Riker Johnson. 12 points, 8 rebounds. So Garrison Carter, he's gone 6 for 9 from the free throw line. He's been perfect in the second half and a chance to give his team the lead. And he does so. 78-77 Scarlet Hawks.
Coach Rashonal subbing Guthrie, making sure that they will be receiving this rebound here if in fact Carter misses the second free throw.
And he hits it. 2-point game. 18-7 left. Cougars will get the last shot. 2 to tie, 3 to win. And they're going to draw up the set piece. They get across midcourt and call a timeout with 14 seconds left. And Dave, you got a full timeout down here for Coach Searles. What do you want to see out of the Cougs?
Yeah, honestly, Jonathan, this is where Coach Rashawn's got to earn his money right here. The final minute of the game, that's when it's really built for the coaches. The first 39, those are truly built for the players. This is when you truly get to see what the schemes are like that Coach Rashawn's able to draw up. He's pulling out the drawing board right now. Got to get deep in the bag. So we'll see kind of what they're going for. Naturally, you got to assume it's going for a 2. You'd rather force the overtime rather than potentially end the night there with a tough long ball, considering they're only shooting 27% on the night, not a particularly strong three-point shooting team this season. So you got to assume there's going to be some kind of movement away from the ball, got to get somebody open, and you got to assume they're going to shoot it earlier in the shot clock, or early in the game clock, Might as well give yourself as many possessions as possible, considering that's been one of your strong points so far today, is those second chance points. That's kind of been what has made the Cougars so successful and why they're in the contest so far tonight.
We'll see what they've drawn up. We'll see who's taking the shot. They've got a couple of those three-point specialists out there. D. Williams, Sebastian Hill. Hill, he's 1 for 7 from 3 on the night. Williams, 2 for 6 from 3 on the night. You don't need the 3. You just need a 2 to tie and keep the game alive. 3 to win, 2 to tie. We'll see what Coach Searles wants with 14 seconds to go. Hill will inbound. Robinson taking point. 11, 10 to go. Robinson to Williams. Williams double teamed. Williams in the corner. 5 to go. Hill goes low to Brown. Brown is fouled. Aaron Brown is fouled by Kuzmanovic. That's going to end Kuzmanovic's night with 5. So, Obrad Kuzmanovic, his night's done. It's not going to matter unless Aaron Brown can hit both free throws.
Yeah, this is some of the biggest free throws of the night, potentially of the season, with how much is riding on it. But he's been in this spot before. You take a look back a week ago, or a week and change, to Wisconsin Lutheran. He's in this same spot, but it was a tie game instead. He went 1 of 2, and that was all we needed to win 85-84. So we'll see what he's able to do here.
And he misses the first shot. And now Illinois Tech preparing to crash the boards. Aaron Brown is going to miss this shot. And Coach Searles is going to take a timeout. So, unique play here for the Cougars. You're intentionally missing the shot. And as soon as it touches your player's hand, you need to get it back up in the air.
Absolutely. I think one of the tough parts here is if you're Aaron Brown right now, obviously you're pretty frustrated about missing that first one, but in the same way, you got to have a very short-term memory right now. Turn the page real quick. You got to think about how you're going to execute this missed free throw, because at the end of the day, if you execute it properly, it's probably coming right back to you, and you have a chance to be the hero to force overtime. So that's kind of what it comes down to, is just turning that page. And this is the tough part about this is not a shot you practice a whole lot, if ever.
No, it's not. You can tell exactly what Coach Gray is going to do. You got your two big men. Unovich, he's not that big, but he's the biggest guy they've got on the bench. Carter down low. Pilipo or Ortiz is immediately going to come out on Brown as soon as this shot's taken. And Coach Gray wants his timeout. So a little chess match between these two players. And this is ultimately, this is a miracle play that the Cougars are going to try to pull off to tie the game. You're probably not going to get a 3 here. But this has happened in college basketball. Purdue fan, going all the way back to 2019, that Purdue-Virginia Elite Eight game, Virginia wins it on a play like this. They're down to 5 seconds left. Purdue fouls because, I think Purdue was up 3 actually, but Purdue fouls to force 2 free throws. You make the first, intentionally miss the second, and get the quick 1 second putback to tie the game. And there's been a bunch of instances in that sense, and that's the first one that comes to mind. It's possible, and that's exactly what the Cougars need to do on this play to stay in the game. You got to get the strong rebound straight off the rim, and you got to put it straight back up.
Other important detail, CUC is out of timeouts if they felt that there was any shot of catching the rebound and quickly burning a timeout.
Brown. Up. Guthrie can't get the clean rebound. Matthew Guthrie with a chance. He wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. And Illinois Tech comes into River Forest and steals a win from the Cougars. Garrison Carter puts the team on his back, 35 points. And the Scarlet Hawks win it, 79-77.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main takeaway right from this match is Ortiz in the first half, but Carter throughout that whole contest. I mean, wow. I mean, he put on a clinic. He put on the performance potentially of the career with that kind of game right there. Just strong presence beyond the arc, and then naturally with the size he has inside the paint. I mean, he did it all, and he gave him that win right there.
Yeah, Garrison Carter, an incredible night. Nicholas Ortiz, 21 points himself. The Cougars get so close. And at the end of the day, it is the free throw shooting that buries Concordia. 61% from the charity stripe tonight. And that's going to send Concordia to their 3rd straight loss in conference. They're now 4-4, 500. Illinois Tech, it'll break a 6-game losing streak for the Scarlet Hawks as they pick up their 3rd win of conference season over the Cougars. They move up to 3-5 in conference play with the win in River Forest tonight. But yeah, incredible win for Illinois Tech. What's your biggest takeaway for the Cougars, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. For the Cougars, it really came down to, like you mentioned, that free throw shooting. It's easy to point at when it's the last play of the game, and that's kind of how it ends when you need Aaron Brown to hit 2 big free throws. But it's not just on Aaron Brown at the end of the day. 13 of 21 is just not going to cut it naturally for the team overall. And then you flip to the other side, Illinois Tech, an incredible 9 of 15 from 3. I mean, when you're playing against a team shooting 60% from 3, that's naturally going to be a very tough team to beat. But they were in it the whole time. They had their chances throughout that last 4th quarter and just didn't shake out how they wanted.
Yeah, and you can see Aaron Brown's teammates and his coaches going out to console him. He's taking this one pretty hard, understandably, but like you mentioned, it is not on Aaron Brown. A big night for the big sophomore. 14 points, 6 for 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Mind you, one of those was an intentional miss. So it just kind of hurts that at the end of the day it ended the way it did, and you couldn't come through on the free throws. There's a million things you can point to that are the reason the Cougars lost tonight, and I'm sure that's something the team will talk about and deal with coming out of this. Another one of them, it's going to be the shooting percentage, and it's going to be the shooting. The Cougars still struggling to shoot at a good clip from the field. 38% from the field, 26% from three, 30 3-pointers attempted, and only 8 made. You go over to Illinois Tech, and honestly, Illinois Tech, an incredible night from downtown for the Scarlet Hawks. 9 for 15, 60%. You look at Garrison Carter. I mean, it's part of his massive night. 5 for 7 from 3. He's not a bad 3-point shooter by any means, but that's still an outstanding night for the big man. That 3-point shooting, another one of those difference makers in the game tonight.
Absolutely. One of the bright spots for Concordia, obviously, pointing out that double-double right there for Yangwa. I mean, 14 points, 10 boards, that's going to be a very strong performance. Don't forget those 5 assists as well. He was doing it all, playing a hefty 27 minutes tonight.
Yeah, Honore Yangwa, a huge presence off the bench for this Cougars team. And the Cougars, they'll get a chance to get back in the winning column this Saturday on a big day for Concordia Chicago. Pack the stands day, a doubleheader, women's and men's basketball. The women at 1 o'clock, the men at 3:15. Geisman Gymnasium setting up to attempt to break the all-time school single game attendance record in that men's game against Lakeland at 3:15. That'll be live here with me, Dave, and Eric on the Cougar Sports Network, along with that women's basketball game at 1 o'clock. Illinois Tech, they move on from here. They go back home to the south side, and they'll host Edgewood this Saturday on January 17th. But that'll do it tonight in River Forest. Cougars get close, but just can't get far enough. It's a 79-77 win for Illinois Tech over Concordia Chicago. Thank you to everyone who made tonight's broadcast possible. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jonathan Shearer with the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me on air tonight was Dave Dimling and Eric Perry. Make sure to join us next time on the Cougar Sports Network. And as always, roll Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.